What would be the minimal distance that someone should be expected to run to escape to cover or to save their own lives? And the distance that kept coming up to my mind was a mile. I feel like a capable, fit person should be able to run a mile whenever they had to, whenever they wanted to save their own lives or to escape, cover, whatever. So introducing running into my training started with that goal. Now, what I will say, I have had running in my training in the past. I've done some nerdy programs for running where it's like build up to a 5K, couch to 5K, a long time ago when I worked for the military. But this time around, I kind of just went rogue with it. I just threw a lot of bullshit out the window and I didn't worry so much about how I was breathing. I fought through some of that shitty lactic acid buildup at the start, and I kind of embraced the suck a little more than I think a lot of people do or they're told to do. And part of it for me is like getting over that hurdle, just like you do with any kind of introduction into your training or just training in general, is you just got to embrace the suck for a little bit, do what you can, have some kind of markers of success. My benchmark running without stopping at the start was like 5 minutes. I felt like I could run 5 minutes before stopping, and I wanted to build up to there. I was like, okay, 10 minutes, hit that mile and get a decent mile, like a decent mile time. Like at a high level is within like a 6-minute mark. But if you're hitting like an easy 10-minute mile, that's a pretty good goal to set. Right now I'm basically hitting upper lower body once a week, total body once a week. And that can change a little bit depending on some of the things I'm working on. But for my squats, I just kept rolling with my programming. I didn't change much. I'll try to cut out most of the shitty sets on my bench because it's nothing fun to watch. But I have been reintroducing bench into my training. I think that's super important as well for someone that, like myself, as a mobility coach that promotes the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want. We shouldn't be steering so clear of movements that we think is going to do harm if we have such good movement that we brag about. Once I started hitting that mile time within like a 10-minute mark easily, I started making some changes. 5K distance is a pretty standard distance where you're running within a 30-minute window, or at least you can start to create some measurable goals around a 30-minute window of running. So that was when things started to change in the programming. I started looking a little bit more around like how many times a week should I be running? How would that start now interfering with my body? But first I had to just start doing it and see what kind of effects it did have. At this time, I actually did start to notice that my endurance in my workouts started to go up. So I just started playing around with that. Like I just felt it. I was doing reps anyway, but it started feeling really good, like to do more reps. I ended up actually hitting an old PB for reps, 315, 3 plates aside for 10 reps. And it was actually quite easy. So that actually surprised me. I started seeing my endurance going up in the sessions. With the endurance in my workouts feeling good, the running feeling good, month of January, reached that comfortable mile. Month of February, reached that comfortable 5K. With the added running volume, and now I'm trying to lift heavy with that, I'm also taking care of my strengths outside of these safe zones. And I mean, that's just my own training, guys. I take those vulnerable strengths a lot more seriously. They've reshaped how I think about movement and strength. I'm at a point now through the month of March and through the month of April, I've been squatting every second week. I'm running long distance once a week and I'm doing some harder interval work on a second day. I am training legs every week, but my second leg day is a bit more secondary in that I'm doing pistol squat work, single leg strength work, and some other mobility things that I like to take at a higher level. I'm just coming to the 2-month mark here and finishing a block of squats, and I did test the waters a little bit and I absolutely smashed 405, which is in that 95% range of my 1RM. It was an easy 8 RPE. I could have probably done more reps with it. I haven't seen any signs of slowing down since doing that. I've gone in 4 months from not really being able to run a comfortable mile and this is my own fault from just like not really taking it seriously for a few years, to I'm back to running a comfortable mile, running a comfortable 5K under 30 minutes. I think that could certainly be better. But I think like a lot of what you can see here, guys, and I think maybe this is a big takeaway when it comes to, paralysis by analysis, is that I'm using a lot of biofeedback techniques to assess what I should and shouldn't be doing. Having a program and some kind of framework and template is important, but I think when you get obsessed with, not being able to hit certain markers of success in that, or obsessed with like, I'm gonna lose all my gains if I only squat once a week, or if I only squat once every 2 weeks, I really think that this could be more of what those that are looking to move into hybrid style approaches to training should be looking at, is these biofeedback indicators. How's your body feeling? How are you recovering? There is nothing that says you have to fit everything into a 1 week window. 10-day training template can work really well for a hybrid athlete. A 14-day training template could work really well. If the intensity and the recovery is there is lots of room for making gains. And as an older athlete that's looking to reintroduce things and not lose gains, this is where I'm having a lot of success. I mean, hopefully there's some takeaways there for you if you're thinking about introducing lifting and you're a runner, or if you're thinking about introducing running and you're a lifter. There's some food for thought here on some strategies that I'm using. There's always framework around my programming for strength. I train in 8-week training blocks. Right now for running, I am starting to actually periodize how a 10K race is going to look for me over the course of 12 weeks. One thing that I don't see changing very much right now is squatting heavy every 2 weeks. If this resonated with you, or if you have any questions, like, comment, share, and I'll keep you guys posted on this and have some new things coming in the future.